Good morning, everyone. I'm Robert Heidt, President and CEO of the Glendale Chamber of Commerce, and I am here today with the one and only Dr. G of Midwestern University for this edition of Good Morning Glendale. Welcome, Dr. G. How are you?
Robert, I'm just fine. Thank you very much. And I'm delighted to join you, even if it's on Zoom.
Well, we're excited to have you here. First and foremost, I think, you're definitely well known in our region and our community. But for those that may not know who you are, would you just take a moment and share a little bit about who Dr. G is for those that just might not quite know that face of yours?
Oh, I'd be very pleased to. So my name is Kathleen H. Goeppinger, and everyone on campus does call me Dr. G. And I have had the honor and privilege of being the president CEO of Midwestern University for actually 27 years. And during that time is when we made the important decision to buy land for our second campus here in Glendale, Arizona. And I think the rest is history. I mean, when you look at our campus, and we have close to some 40 new buildings that we put up and different projects and parking decks. And then we got into our clinic operations, and we have family medicine and optometry and podiatry and pharmacy. And then certainly the big dental clinics. And it's just been a wonderful experience. And of course, our latest clinic is the Therapy Institute, and that has done extremely well. But I think one of the things many of your viewers probably don't know is that we were the very first vet school here in the state, and we are the largest vet school in the state. And so not only do we have a beautiful campus, we have large animal facilities right here in Glendale.
Well, I definitely can attest to your veterinary clinic and services. I've been a customer myself, and so I can't say enough great things about the entire team over there of professionals that you have handling that part of your university, and definitely a much needed career here in our community is veterinary services. So one of the things you mentioned is you've got such a rich history. Midwestern, I believe, was founded back in 1900. So there is a very rich history. And then in Glendale, you came here in 1995, is that correct?
We did. So we bought the land in 1995, broke ground, and our first building was Saguaro Hall, which is center on campus. And we started with a small class of physician assistants and 100 medical students. And that's how we got started. And the rest has just been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I think one of the things that drew us to Glendale is the community itself. It was very welcoming. We knew it was growing. And it was an environment that we felt was ripe for having higher education within the Glendale area.
Well, and another thing for those that may not know, Dr. G also served as our chair of the board back in 2003. And then following Dr. G, a good number of years later, was also Dr. Art Double-Air, who served in 2009. So we're thankful for the great leadership of you and Dr. Double-Air. So thank you, Dr. G. So a couple things. There's so much that goes on within your university. You're almost like an economic engine of itself with what happens every day on campus. A couple things I was hoping you'd share with us. Would you tell us a little bit about Operation Hope and what's happening there with you?
I'd be very happy to. We, as everyone went through the pandemic, we literally never closed our doors. We kept all of our clinics open for emergency care. We never had a student have to drop. We never furloughed an employee. Those that had to learn to teach from home, we were able to do so. We kept our operations as lean, but as active as possible. But one of my big dreams was if the vaccine ever became available, we would become a huge vaccination center. And so, Robert, we actually did that. We partnered with Maricopa County. They were a fantastic partner. And we also did it in DuPage County, where our Illinois campus resides. And we started doing vaccinations called Operation Hope. And I'm proud to say that we have vaccinated over 16,600 people in our community through the vaccination center. And we did it with, very little hassle for people. It was easy to make an appointment. You got to sit inside and not sit in your car waiting to go in long lines. And today, our entire campus community of faculty, staff, and students we are at 86% fully vaccinated.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
absolutely remarkable. Thank you for your leadership on that. That's amazing.
Well, it is wonderful to know that our healthcare community, and that's all we do is healthcare. All of our programs, all of our students, all of our faculty, we embrace healthcare and One Health for each other. And to make sure that this community is healthy and understands the importance of the vaccinations was a really important goal of ours. But Operation Hope kicked in, and I can tell you many, many, many people from Glendale came to Operation Hope, and we took care of them.
That is absolutely amazing. Thank you for your leadership and your commitment on helping to get through the pandemic, and to hear that your organization still weathered through. It was probably the most unprecedented time that any of us have lived through. And it sounds as if you didn't miss a beat over there.
No.
What would you say was kind of your one eye opener through the entire pandemic that made you, whether it was something positive you witnessed or that the university did? What was that one? There's probably many, many aha moments for you. But is there anything that comes to mind that sticks out that you say, this was just amazing to have witnessed or see?
Robert, I think one of the most important lessons all of us learned during the pandemic is you have to always communicate with people. You have to let them know that they're going to be all right, that the families are going to be okay. The minute the pandemic hit in early March of 2020, I began writing a letter every night to every faculty, staff, and student, and even incoming students. And I would post my evening update telling them what we were doing to sanitize the campus, what benefits we had extended, what special leaves we had provided, how we were keeping our students safe. And I realized that no matter who you are, you need to hear that we are communicating directly with every individual. And I think that communication is something that has really struck me as probably paramount of a lesson learned. That is, no matter what happens, people want to know, how are we doing? What are we doing? And how are we going to get through this together? And that's what we talked about.
That's remarkable. And I couldn't agree with you more. I think the more that we can keep people informed and aware of what's happening or what's to come, the better it is, because there were so many unknowns and so much discomfort for so many people. And we all weathered this storm just slightly different. We were all in it together, but the impacts that each person felt was vastly different from person to person that we spoke with. So thank you again but we wouldn't expect anything less from you and Midwestern. You're trendsetters. You're at the top of the board. You're the example that we want others to follow. So we're grateful to that.
Well, I thank you for that.
Switching gears a little bit, you all have grown greatly since you opened the doors here. Continue to make investments in your campus, not only back in the Midwest, but also here. But specifically here, can you share with us a little bit about the economic impact of Midwestern here on the local economy and in Glendale?
Well, each year we try to do an economic update to tell the community what we do, because it's not just the buildings and the huge investment in the 400 and some million dollars. And as a not-for-profit, those are huge numbers to invest in a community. So we've invested heavily in our facilities, but more so we've invested heavily in our faculty and our staff. And we are a very big employer here in Glendale. And so when you look at the hundreds of faculty members and staff members, and they're all doctorates, they're all PhDs for the most part, they're very well educated, they're very well paid. And the nice thing is they live in the community, they go to local businesses, they go to the restaurants here, and they are very invested in bringing the economics of what they can buy into our own community. But more than that, you think about the thousands of students that are here. And while Midwestern has more than 7,000 students, about 3,500 are on the Glendale campus. And so
Wow.
Those students, they also are, eating in the restaurants, they're living on campus, they're living off campus. They really are a huge source of economic involvement for our community. And then of course they bring family and they bring friends. So yes, whenever you look at a university, while we might be a not-for-profit, what we bring to our surrounding businesses is a huge profit line.
It's amazing, and I think you're right. It's not just like you said, the building itself or stuff. It's everything, and it's the impact that you have that really I think is profound for Glendale, throughout the West Valley, our Phoenix metro area, and your continued investment. It shows that you're committed to, as a university, excellence and always looking to push the envelope to the next level. And again, you all are leaders, you're trendsetters at that. So we thank you, thank you for that. You know, another thought is when you hear Midwestern, you think about all the different programs and academic programs you have. Could you share just a few of those with us that you know that the average person or folks here in Glendale that have come new to our area might not be familiar with Midwestern?
You know, I think that's an interesting question, because you're right. Whenever you say we're a medical student school, they immediately think doctor, or they think dentist or optometrist or podiatrist. But you think about all the other professions that are part of a healthcare team. I mean,
Yep.
you know, you may go to the doctor, but they're going to send you to a physical therapist. They're going to send you to an occupational therapist. They may send you to the podiatrist. And for, as you even said earlier, many people are very dependent on their companion animals for part of their well-being, which is their health care. So all of our professions really are interdependent with each other. But one of the things that we have embraced and gone after are more the therapies. So like the Eye Institute not only does optometry, but now we have a Karen machine to improve coordination and balance. And all of those pieces intertwine. I think the newer programs that we've started are very interesting. We actually have a master's in public health. And after going through a pandemic, I can tell you the need for more public health officials is greater than ever. I cannot tell you how important they are to our overall well-being. And then we've gone into nursing. But one of the things we've tried to do is going into a doctorate of nursing with a specialization in geriatric care. Because as our generations are getting older, we need more and more of the geriatric specializations to take care of people. So with all of our professions, we try to be very well balanced.
That's amazing. And you know what I also love is you do a lot of give back into the community. You know, whether it's you're providing dental care or vision care, things like that, and you're partnering up with so many organizations. I know you'll have your veterinary bus out. You're immersed in the community, and it's part of the culture, which is great. With that, you've been a longtime member of the Glendale Chamber. Why does an organization like yours partner with an organization like the Chamber or other organizations that you're involved with, whether it's GPAC or others within the area? What makes that so important to Midwestern and you?
Well, I think the most important thing is I truly believe we have to serve the community we're in. And that if we don't serve it, then we're not being a full partner. And so I truly believe that whether it's joining the chamber, I've been very fortunate to represent Glendale at the Greater Phoenix Economics Council. For many years, I sat at the Rotary. And all of that is because all of us have a sense of giving back and being part of it. Until you're really a member of a community, you don't understand the fiber of it and how people think and work. And the Chamber is a wonderful organization in my mind, because it really allows people from small business to large business to really have a gathering point. And the truth is we're all here for each other. So a chamber is one way that people can get involved in an organization and get to know their city better. You know, if you live in a city, you work in a city, you want to know your city. And fortunately, Glendale is the size that you really can get to know each other and get to know the other businesses. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity that I really encourage, all business owners and people that lead organizations to take advantage of, because I think there is great lessons to be learned from others within an organization like that.
Well, we appreciate that, and certainly your past leadership here, and you and many others laid the foundation, and our growth today, we're well over 1,400 members strong as a chamber. So it makes us one of the largest chambers in the state. We're very, very proud of that because we continue to grow here in Glendale in the West Valley. But we stand on the shoulders of the leaders who came before us, and you as the former chair of the board and many others really paved that road for myself and those that are here today, and continue to drive our local economy. So thank you very, very much for that. Anything that is going on at Midwestern I didn't ask you about, because again, for those that are watching that don't know, Dr. G is a pretty remarkable individual. I don't know how she keeps her schedule. She's back and forth between here and the Midwest. I don't know how you do it some days. I know when I talk to you and you'll share a little bit, I'm just amazed at all that's happening and going on. But anything that I didn't ask you about within the university that you'd like to share with everyone?
I think, Robert, one of the things that I'm excited about is not only having people come back to campus and take care of more people in our clinics, in our therapy institute, but it's wonderful to see the community coming alive again. So many people went into the pandemic and didn't have the connections that they needed with others. And having students back on campus, having faculty back on campus, walking the halls, you can feel a sense of excitement in the community. And you can even see that going to the local grocery stores and seeing people now going back to restaurants. And so we're ready to start doing more of our giving back to the community, whether we start holding some health fairs. This past spring, we did a fantastic day of giving free dental care to veterans. And we had hundreds of people come out, even during a pandemic, because the need was so great. And so as we continue some of those very big special health events, it's wonderful that we can see people again giving back and being part of a community. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I think that, as we go on, even though we're always worried about variants, we're always, ready to, if we have to do boosters, we're going to do boosters on campus. Whatever might happen, we're still going to learn from the pandemic to cherish people a little bit more.
I think you're right. We hosted in April, so we were still kind of wonky within the time frame of COVID and that sort of thing. But we hosted a Luke Shootout, which you've been at many, many times. And we didn't quite know what to expect because we didn't have sponsors on the course. It was slightly different than we ordinarily do. We oversold the tournament, and everyone that came was so excited. And so our first in-person event this past Friday, and the energy and the excitement and enthusiasm was definitely there. There's still some concern, and people are monitoring what's going on and what may come. But definitely that energy of getting back into kind of what we knew as our normal before and whatever that new kind of wave of our future looks like. But it's definitely, you feel some energy out there, and there's lots of exciting stuff happening, to come in the months ahead. So I would agree with you there. I'm looking forward to it. Well, Dr. G, we would love to stay online and talk to you all day, but they would probably kick us offline from your office because you are a super duper busy lady, and we are just over the moon excited to have taken a little bit of the time to highlight you and what's going on in Midwestern. Again, we're grateful to have your university here in Glendale and the West Valley. We're thankful for your support and investment, not only in the chamber, but the many, many other organizations that Midwestern does support here. So with that, if there's anything else you'd like to add before we send our parting messages to everyone.
Robert, I just wanted to say thank you. It was my pleasure to be invited to do this with you and to share what's happening at the university and to share the fact that, we've got a wonderful, wonderful university of great faculty, students, and staff, and they do make the difference for everyone in healthcare. So I was honored that you wanted to talk with me today. And I thank you very much for the interview, the questions, and certainly what you're doing at the chamber, because you've made a huge difference. And I think the fact you got 1,400 members says wonderful things about your leadership. So thank you very much for all you do.
Thanks, Dr. G. And those folks that are on your campus, the interesting thing is they may not realize it today, some of those students, but the impact that they're going to have on the lives or the animals and the people in the family to come as they branch out into their careers in the medical world. So I can't thank you enough for those future things and those people that are there.
They're great.
So thank you again.
Okay, thank you.
So with that, folks, we want to thank you for tuning in to Good Morning Glendale, and we hope to see you once again. And thank you again to Dr. G and all of Midwestern for everything they do for Glendale. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you.